All right, welcome to week number 6 of the new Smyrna World Series of eRacing here on VidaneTV. Last week we saw the compact cars go racing, but we're back to the Thunder and Lightning. The super late models are back in action here tonight. We have a great field of drivers signed in. They're getting ready to qualify before we go heat racing here tonight before the 100-lap feature. Big thank you to Edgewater Screen, the title sponsor of our World Series of eRacing here. Sit back, relax, grab some dinner, and get ready for some great racing. I'm the voice of New Smyrna Speedway, Ryan Stevens. Joining me today in the booth is Kyle Young. Kyle, how you doing tonight, bud?
Ryan, I'm doing fantastic. Glad to be here. Glad to be a part of another show here with the new Smyrna Speedway World Series of Esports. Race number 6, as you mentioned, our second time around here with the super late models. Once we finish things up this week, it will absolutely be on the road to the championship, as we will start next week with our final rotation of our vehicle set. So this should be fun. We had a very unique event last week. We ran the Kia Optima to represent the Bomber division at the new Smyrna Speedway. Honestly, it was a pretty good race for the front-wheel drive road racing car that iRacing offers here, running on a short-track oval. The win streak that Ryan Matthews has gone on over the majority of the month of May came to an end, but we didn't see a new winner. It was Anthony Sergi who put himself back to victory lane. Sergi won the opening round of this series with our first street stock race. Ryan Matthews took over for the next 3 races, and then Anthony Sergi ended that and put himself back into victory lane for week number 2. So those 2 guys are obviously going to be the ones that we focus on a lot tonight, seeing that they are the only 2 winners that we've had here throughout this first half of the season. But as we've seen, even though they've been winning, we still have a ton of guys in here who are extremely talented, very competitive, and are more than capable of knocking these guys off the top of the pedestal.
Absolutely. And, we know with super late models tonight that Matthews is probably going to be the guy they're all chasing, but we've seen some drivers, especially over on the truck series that we cover here on VidaneTV, that have really started to get their confidence level up and getting used to driving. They've kind of come over here, so we might have some surprises in store for you yet. I see Cody Brinson's in the server here tonight, so he could be one of those guys that sneak up there. 100 laps is a long way here at New Smyrna Speedway. This track, especially on iRacing, very, very treacherous. All it takes is one mistake, one lap car getting in the way. You never know. Or, hey, maybe Ryan Matthews just misses it here tonight. So there's a lot of unknowns, but Ryan Matthews is going to be good. Anthony Sergi going to be good. That finish last week, I didn't get to catch it live with you guys. I wasn't able to make it live, but I went back and watched the video. That finish was about as good as you can get with Sergi and Bruce Bennett battling each other. Bruce could have put the bumper to him, wrecked him. They raced hard, but they raced clean. That was good stuff. We saw some great racing out of the trucks here on VidaneTV Monday night. So I think we're going to be in for a good in for a good show, I should say. We've been racing together now for a long time. These drivers are used to racing with each other. I think they've cleaned up their act. I hope I didn't jinx it there, but I think we're going to see some great, solid racing. And, folks, they're qualifying right now. If you're not familiar with the format here, they're going to lock in the top 10 drivers, and qualifying everybody else will have to battle through the heats and the consolation races tonight to make the main event field.
That is absolutely correct. We have a minute and a half left of this qualifying session. Currently at the moment, the number 8 car of Kyle Pitts is on the point. He ran a 17.189. Dalton Smith in second, Jesse Powers third, Hayden Vaughn in fourth, and Corey Katina currently rounding out your top 5. Still a handful of drivers that have not put a lap down yet and that are still currently out on the racetrack. They have about a minute and 10 seconds or so to do so. As soon as I say that, Nicholas Noggle puts himself to the top of the point, 17.127. It is listed in the server info tab, so I'm not going to shy away from it. We've been doing it throughout the season so far. There is an invert tonight. Tonight we are inverting the top 7 cars in qualifying. So 7th will start first for the main event. First will start 7th, and you can fill in the rest on your own. So we will take the top 10 in qualifying. Top 7 will invert. Positions 8 through 10 will line up as they are. And here in these last final seconds of qualifying, things are immediately changing up as we got new names up at the top of the board.
Yeah, the minute you said Nicholas Noggle went to the top, Eric Purcell laid down a fast lap. Then Cody Brinson went to second. Noggle still hanging on to third. A lot of these guys will wait to the very last second to go out, let some of that track temp and stuff build up, and they'll go out there and try to lay down a fast lap right at the end. So it could very well change. We'll definitely recap the top 10 qualifiers. So if you don't see your favorite drivers in the qualifying heats, that means they probably already qualified their way in here with this qualifying session. With about 3 seconds to go, Purcell still atop the board, so it looks like Eric Purcell going to be our fast qualifier here as we get ready for heat number 1. Quickly, I want to let everybody know the point standings. Ryan Borges comes in with a 2-point lead over Ryan Matthews. Matthews, a 3-time winner. Didn't have a good night last week. He's now 2 points back. Anthony Sergi, third in points, 30 back. Blake Clauser, fourth, 34 points back. And Eric Purcell, the pole sitter tonight, rounds out the top 5, 42 points back. So that's where everybody sits. That's your top 5. We'll try to talk about that in a little bit. But now we'll get ready for the starting lineup for heat number 1.
Indeed, we will. The cars are on the grid, getting ready to go heat racing action for the first time tonight. We will have 2 heat races. They will be 12 laps in length, and we will take the top 3 in each heat race to tonight's feature. On the pole here for heat race number 1, in car number 24 is Dalton Smith, and his dancing partner to the outside will be the 051 machine of Ryan Pierce. Hayden Vach in the number 10 car will start in position number 3, and the 3 car of Jonathan Thompson will be to his outside in position 4. Dylan Ritchie in the 29 machine, he will round out your top 5, and Jason Miller in the 86 car will start in position number 6. Ryan Salvatore in the 112 machine, he will start 7th, and Willie Cuddy will line up to the 112's outside in his number 23 machine in 8th. The crowd favorite, Tyler Sontag, the number 91, will line up 9th and starting scratch on the field. 2nd place in last week's race in the Kia, put on a thrilling show. He's got a lot of work ahead of him tonight. That is Bruce Bennett in the 60.
Boy, you guys better keep your eye on Bruce Bennett in the 60. I guess he didn't get a qualifying lap, and I wondered if maybe he had some problems with the machine there, getting it through qualifying. So Bruce Bennett to the back of the field as we get ready to go. Heat number 1 about to be underway. I believe we're going to take 4 or 5 from this heat to the main event. Everybody else will have to go to the consi. So let's see what happens here. Green flag is out for the first time tonight. Dalton Smith, the new Smyrna Speedway regular, jumps out to the early lead ahead of Pierce as Hayden Vach battles for that 3rd position a little further back.
Nice separation for the top 2. As mentioned there, the battle for 3rd is on. That is the 3rd and final transfer spot between Hayden Vach in the 10 car and Jonathan Thompson in the 3. Trouble further back. One car gets spun around. No caution as of yet. It's the 112 Orion Salvatore and Willie Cuddy in the 23. 2 cars involved. They both get it going again, and we may stay green here.
Well, we got a battle for the lead as we do stay green. Here comes Pierce to the inside of Smith, side by side here, and using that top side momentum. Dalton Smith, he knows how to run that line in real life, and he's going to hang onto the lead. Kyle, as he corrected me, top 3 to qualify, so only 3 move on. That's going to make these heat races very important here tonight. And Thompson, one of the newcomers into the server tonight, up into that 3rd spot, 3rd and final spot, as a matter of fact.
Yes, he has won that battle against Hayden Vach for position number 3. Doesn't have much comfort out that back bumper as the 10 of Vach is pretty close to him. And then don't look too far back. Dylan Ritchie in the 129 machine, he is behind in position number 5. So a 3-car group right there, not really battling as of right yet for that final transfer spot. They still have some laps to click off before it really matters. But that'll be the one to watch, as the top 2 cars are pretty spaced out right now and racing pretty calmly.
Oh, and contact and around. No, a big save from the 3, but that's going to shuffle things up. Oh, boy, the 3 of Thompson, he gets the bumper in turn 1. A big save, did make contact with the wall, but he's dropped back outside of a qualifying spot. Here comes Bruce Bennett in the 60. Remember, folks, he started dead last, shotgun on the field, and he's roaring through the pack. He's got to get up in that top 3, though, as Ritchie, the 129, is taking over the final spot. One quick update for you, Kyle. The 23 tonight going to be driven by Jeff Cuddy under Willie Cuddy's name, but Jeff Cuddy is driving that orange 23. Looks like it'll be B feature for him later tonight, but Jeff Cuddy in the 23 tonight, as Dalton Smith in the 24 continues to show the way with 5 to go.
Great information to have. The battle for 4th is now heating up. Bruce Bennett is underneath the 10 car. He wants that 4th position and hopes to take it and reel in Dylan Ritchie. He's got it here in the center of 1 and 2. Jeff Cuddy giving away. Oh, boy.
Oh,
he
man.
tried to go down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Bruce Bennett thought he was going to stay high, so he followed him to the bottom, got into the back of the 23, and spun him up the racetrack. The caution flag has flown for the first time.
And Kyle, that was no fault of Bruce Bennett's. He tried to anticipate what was going on with the lap car in front of him as we'll get the replay up, but it looked like he's trying to anticipate. The lap car saw the leaders coming and tried to get out of the way, and just right in front of Bennett. Here they come off turn 4. You see Cuddy get tight there, and then Bruce Bennett nowhere to go into the back of him. So it looked like maybe Bennett was too aggressive, but no, that's not the case. That was just faster cars coming up on lap traffic. Remember, Cuddy damaged in that incident from earlier. Tough circumstance there. Bruce Bennett, though, still in the 4th position. He came from 10th on the grid. We're going to have a shootout to finish this one. Only 3 are going to qualify. And Kyle, nobody is safe.
No, not at all. A green-white checkered incoming here, so the whole field is going to have the opportunity to get bunched back up, and that could lead for some drama. Initially, you would think that maybe the caution flag would give Bruce Bennett a benefit now that he gets to start right outside of Dillon Ritchie, but honestly, he wasn't that far behind Ritchie before that whole incident happened, so he may have had a good opportunity to get there as is. Now he'll just have an even better one. I think that's a good call on race control to leave him up there. It was very clear that Bruce was not trying to do anything to harm the 23 of Jeff Cuddy. Jeff just made a last-second decision to drop low, and it was too late for Bruce to counteract that one, as he had already committed to going underneath. I think
Absolutely,
that was going to stay hot.
That was just one of those racing deals, and you know, and no fault to Cuddy either. He's got a damaged race car. He actually probably looked in his mirror, saw those cars with a head of steam, and tried to get out of the way, and it's kind of like when you're in the supermarket and you're coming down the aisle, someone else is coming up the aisle, and you try to anticipate where they're going to go, and they move the same side of the aisle as you. That's kind of like how it was there. So that was just 2 guys coming together at the same space, and luckily for Bruce Bennett, able to hang on to 4th. He's got a shot to make the feature here through the heat race and not have to go to the hooligan race later.
Yeah, this will be a very fun battle to watch for this final transfer spot. As long as things don't get too chaotic, which this is racing, of course they can at any moment. Dalton Smith and Ryan Pierce are looking for... Absolutely. Dalton Smith and Ryan Pierce, if I can get the right names together. Well, they have looked very good at the front of the field. So yeah, they've been looking great so far here throughout this entirety of this heat race. Now we'll have Dillon Ritchie and Bruce Bennett. They will line up next to each other. Hayden Vach will be in 5th. Jason Miller 6th. Don't count any of these guys in the back out. This could get wild. This could get crazy. All we know for right now is that Dillon Ritchie has that final spot, and there's about 5 or 6 other guys behind him.
We still got 9 cars on the lead lap. 2-lap shootout to finish a heat race. Any one of those 9 cars could qualify. Cuddy on pit road. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Green-white checker, heat number 1 of the night. Dalton Smith, he got a great restart there. That is exactly what he needed to do to get away from the swarm behind him. Smith up to the lead and battles on for 2nd. Ritchie and Pierce, but now here comes Bruce Bennett to the outside.
Fierce side-by-side battle for the final transfer spot. Ritchie holds it. Bennett wants it. Off at turn 4. White flag flies. Bennett has it at the line. He's not clear of Ritchie's 29 car just yet, but he's going to do so coming off at turn number 2. Will Dillon Ritchie have a final say? Bennett gets into the outside wall on the back straightaway. Ritchie takes a pretty conservative line. Bennett wants to go for 2nd. Then he slides coming off. He'll hang on. Man. He'll grab that final transfer spot. It will be Dalton Smith leading wire to wire. He wins heat race number 1. Ryan Pierce finishes in 2nd, and Bruce Bennett from dead last, 10th place to 3rd. He will transfer on, forcing Dillon Ritchie, Hayden Vach, Jonathan Thompson, Tyler Sontag, Jason Miller, Ryan Salvatore, and Jeff Cuddy to go to an LCQ.
Boy, how about the drive from Bruce Bennett, 10th to 3rd, the New Smyrna regulars, finishing 1st and 3rd in that heat race. So, New Smyrna strong here tonight at New Smyrna Speedway. Getting ready here for the 2nd heat race. This is going to be a good one. Some strong names in this one as well.
That is absolutely the case. On the pole in car number 32, that will be Jesse Powers, and the outside pole sitter will be the 14 machine of Dodge Carlbert. The 03 car of Corey Katina, he's going to line up to the inside of row number 2, and the 4th place starter is going to be Tim Walters Jr. in the 29 car. The 92 machine, Jeffrey Gilbo, he's going to line up 5th, and the outside participant in that row is the number 19 car of Colt Cecil. David Costello in car number 50 will line up in 7th for heat race number 2, and he will have Arthur Hendren in the 64 car on his outside. Final position, 9th place, all on his lonesome in row number 5. That will be the 13 car of David Leininger. So we will once again go 12 laps. We will take 3 cars to the feature, and everybody else will go to an LCQ.
Yep, top 3 and only 3 move on. How about Jesse Powers, former mini stock driver here at New Smyrna, up on the front row. Now drives quarter midgets in the dirt. Maybe we can get him back in the asphalt one of these days. Dodge Carlbert, a regular on the Florida Pro Truck Challenge Series. So he's no stranger to this racetrack up there on the front row. Katina in the 03. He'll be one to watch here. Jeffrey Gilbo, a sportsman driver here in the state of Florida. Also in this one, Timmy Walters, the 29. He's going to be driving E-Mods at New Smyrna this year. So pick your favorite as we get ready to go. The Daytona Dodge Pace Truck is about to make that hard turn on the pit lane, out of harm's way. And here we go. Jesse Powers, Dodge Carlbert, hit the gas and accelerate into turn 1.
Pretty even start amongst the front row, nearly going 3 wide already into turn number 1, but they settled down for now. It's still dead even at the front of the field. Nobody with an advantage on the race lead. The only sole possession of position right now is the 03 car, and now Jesse Powers will move into position number 1, putting Dodge Carlbert back to second, and now it looks like the only side-by-side battle is for 5th between the 50 and the 19.
Costello and Cecil battling side by side. Cecil in that highlighter yellow number 19. His truck looks just like that. You can't miss it out there. Trying to run the high side, but Castillo, the red 50, down on the bottom. Now they're still side by side. Nobody getting a break here, but right now they're fighting for a spot outside of the top 3. Right now it's Powers, Carlbert, and Katina as Cecil about knocked the wall down off turn number 2.
That'll force him to lose that battle for position. Now everybody kind of settling in, single filing out, trying to see what they have for each other. A little bit of a flame starting to rise for the battle for the final transfer spot. Jeffrey Gilbo starting to reel in on the back bumper of the 03 car. Still about a car length or so in between those two guys. Gilbo has been very fierce and very competitive in this series throughout the opening 5 weeks. He's had some misfortune along the way, but for the most part, he's been extremely competitive. He's sitting one spot out for right now. You know he wants to get in.
Oh yeah, he definitely wants to get qualified. That car, at least from what I can see, looks very familiar to us Florida racers here. It looks like a replica of Jesse Dutilli's car. I know Gilbo helps Jesse Dutilli, and Gilbo get back behind the wheel of a race car himself. So that is not Jesse Dutilli, if you're wondering on your screen, as he battles for that final spot. Jeff Gilbo in the 30, trying to take that final spot from the 03 Katina.
Great 3-car battle starting to form up here for that final transfer spot. 6 laps are in, 6 laps are left to go. The cross flags were just given to the field. Jesse Powers and Dodge Carlbert are doing exactly what they need to do. Those two guys are running away with the top 2 spots, leaving these guys to fight amongst themselves, and it's going pretty well with this battle. So far, a lot of contact there. Gilbo gets into the back of Katina. Now he gets into again. Spins him sideways. He saves it, but now he's into the wall.
No, that's probably going to bring out a caution as he gets piled into back straightaway. Caution is out. Boy, Gilbo gave him a nudge in turn number 1, got him sideways down on the apron, and then finished the job there in the middle of 1 and 2. And I mean, the admins will have to make the call. That's what they get paid for. But we'll get your replay here. You'll see the shot going into turn number 1. Gilbo in the 30. We're going to take it from the blimp here. Gilbo in the 30, gives him a nudge there. Good save for the 03. Then Gilbo saw the door open and just drove it a little too hard into the quarter panel of Katina, taking Katina out of the top 3. We'll have to see what race control is going to do. That's going to be up to them. That's a tough call. That looked like good, hard racing for the final transfer spot. He got him once, and then, gosh, I don't know, Kyle. It looked like he tried to fill the hole, but yet the 03 was still there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking myself, is that he was going to try to take advantage of the contact there on entry and sneak underneath of him and try to power on by. Race Control has made their decision. They are sending the 30 machine of Jeffrey Gilbo to the back of the field for his involvement with that. So I'm sure that's not exactly what he was hoping would happen out of that. He will have an opportunity to get back up to a transfer position. It'll be a little bit tougher with it only being now a green-white checkered in this one as well. But unfortunate circumstances there. Corey Katina and Jeffrey Gilbo going to the back of the field for that incident there. That just opens the door for everybody else. That's now going to put the 29 of Timmy Walters into the qualifying position. Colt Cecil is 4th. David Costello is in 5th. David Leininger up 3 positions from dead last. He is in position number 6. So this should be another fun GWC to watch.
Now we're going to have a great finish to this heat race here. So the door opens now for Timmy Walters and Colt Cecil to try to race their way in. Timmy, a good buddy of mine. Real fun guy if you ever get a chance to talk to him. He's building, like I said earlier, he's building an EMA that he plans to bring out to New Smyrna Speedway and maybe some other tracks around the state of Florida. And then you got Colt Cecil, the Florida Pro Truck Challenge Series regular, right up there. So two pretty good drivers there. Row number 2, that's going to be a dogfight for that final spot. You still got Jesse Powers, who we talked about, alongside Dodge Colbert. Those two guys, they think they're safe, but just like heat number 1, this restart could change everything. Daytona Dodge Pace Truck getting ready to pull off the banking. It's out of here. And here we go. Green flag back in the air. Eric Reynolds waves them by. And Powers gets the jump going into 1. Carlbert trying to fight back on the high side. Does he open the bottom? Who's going to get that third spot? It's Colt Cecil off turn number 2.
Great power move on the outside of Timmy Walters to move into position 3 is the 19 of Colt Cecil, but he still has to do his defense work and keep him behind. White flag flies one more time around the New Smyrna Speedway. Looking good for the 32 and the 14. The 19 backs up to the back or the front bumper of the 29. There's a little bit of contact there, but no harm, no foul for now. Walters enters a little bit higher. Does he have anything for him? Doesn't look like it. It'll be Jesse Powers to win heat race number 2, Dodge Colbert second, and Colt Cecil takes the third and final transfer spot. Timmy Walters, Corey Catino rounding out the top 5, and then Arthur Hendren,
good recovery.
Yes, a very good recovery for Corey Catino. That 5th place finish will do him well for the starting position in his LCQ. Could be a lot worse, but a nice recovery for sure. Hopefully he'll be able to recover even better and get himself in as we head to our sole last chance qualifier event. We're just getting that information kicked over now. We know it's going to be 20 laps in length. We will take 9 cars to the feature. We've got 13 lined up, so we will send 4 cars home tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good race. 9 to qualify, 13 to start. It's going to be very interesting. The leaders, if they play it smart here in this one, Kyle, the top 4 or 5 just play it smart, they'll be in the race. But from about 6th through the rest of the field, it's going to be very aggressive. And you never know what you're going to get in this kind of race. Before we get going here in this consolation race, last chance race, B feature, whatever you want to call it here tonight, I want to let everybody know that unfortunately last week, New Smyrna's grand reopening for 2020 unfortunately got put on hold due to rain. But we're going to try it again. We'll be back in action with the modifieds, the New Smyrna trucks. Plus, we're going to have the Bomber A's and the Sportsmen. So maybe guys like Jeffrey Gilbo will make the trip over to support the Speedway here this weekend. But we're going to try it again. We'll have opening day, whichever week Mother Nature will let us. And real quick, if you can, Kyle, let us know maybe the top 5 here.
Yeah, for sure. Dylan Ritchie's going to start on the pole here. Unfortunately, Timmy Walters was supposed to be the outside pole sitter, but he's just said in the server he has to leave for work, so he's being sent to the tail to get out of the way. That'll put Corey Katina up in P2. Hayden Vach will start in 3rd. That would be Arthur Hendren will start in position number 4. Then we'll have Jonathan Thompson and Jeffrey Gilbo starting in row number 3. Then Tyler Sontag and David Leininger, Jason Miller and David Costello, and that should put Ryan Salvatore. I'm all confused now, but that's sort of a rundown.
One guy moves out of line because they've got to go, and that messes everything up. But the pace truck makes the turn off, and we are getting ready to go. 9 going to make it in. Ritchie, the 129, going to lead us down into turn number 1. Katina in the 03, trying to have some redemption here from his tough heat race. Let's see how this one all plays out here as the 129 of Dylan Ritchie gets that big jump. He's got the track all to himself up front.
My goodness, I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but Jeffrey Gilbo took it 3 wide through the middle in the center of 1 and 2 to gain a few positions. He's already up to position number 5. He's got a nice buffer. A little contact there in front of him. The 3 of Jonathan Thompson gets into the back of Hayden Vach. No harm, no foul. Everybody keeping it clean and green. Just some short track beating and banging. Looking good throughout these first couple laps.
Yeah, that was a rather orderly start amongst all the chaos there. That could have easily been a caution. If this were week 1, it probably would have been a caution. But these guys, like I said at the top of the show, they've been racing together now for 5-6 weeks. And oh, never mind. They're wrecking. The 86 has gone around. Pulls it down to the infield. We remain green for the time being. The 86 trying to get it refired here, and he does. So we're going to stay green. Ritchie, Katina, Vach, the top 3. Here comes your leader now off corner number 4, and that was Miller in the 86 who went around down through the grass, now just getting the heck out of Dodge. he might be one of the guys loading up going home.
Yeah, it appears to be that way. He stopped in the center of 1 and 2 down on the apron, hit the tow button, and I think I hear some more trouble. Oh, yeah, we got big trouble on the backstretch. One car is upside down. That is the 112 of Ryan Salvatore. That also took out Timmy Walters Jr. So
well, Timmy can go ahead and get on to work now. He'll be on time.
Yeah, that is for sure. Both cars, unfortunately, getting upside down there. That'll send caution number 1 out. The pace car going to head to the racetrack for the first time in this LCQ. Pretty violent wreck there. Unfortunate for Ryan Salvatore and Timmy Walter.
Well, yeah, those two come together. They both go upside down. And I'm telling you, if you hit the wall at New Smyrna Speedway at an angle like that, you're going for a ride. And I've seen cars, maybe not recently go on the roofs like that, but get air coming off that wall. So this place will bite you, video game or not. So looks like the drivers might have the ability to repair their cars tonight and get back out there. That's going to keep this B feature pretty interesting. If I were Timmy Walters, though, I would just go ahead and get ready to go to work because it just seems like everything's against you here tonight, buddy. Go get that money and put it into the real race car. So let's refresh here, Kyle. We got Dylan Ritchie up front, Corey Katina second, Hayden Vach the top 3. Then you have Thompson, Gilbo, Sontag, Castillo, Hendren. Art Hendren, our Superstock regular, is in, and Leinenberger, the final qualifier right now.
I must say, as somebody that's only been to New Smyrna Speedway a handful of times during Speed Weeks, it is fantastic to have you up in the booth and giving me some background on some of these guys. It's cool to learn some more about what these guys race in real life, some of their successes as well. So I very much appreciate your knowledge.
Hey, I've got to make myself useful somehow.
Well, you're doing a great job. These guys are also doing a great job of putting on a good show for us so far. Hope that all of you guys out in the streaming world are enjoying it, seeing some good numbers on Facebook, but we're not seeing anybody chit-chatting. What's up with that? We got almost 60 people on here. Nobody's talking. The only talker was Hunter Lovely, who says that
who do you think's going to win this thing tonight? You guys gotta chime in so that we can have a little bit of fun. Comment for sure, and we'll get back to you. Let us know who you think's going to win this B feature. Let us know your favorite for the main event as we're getting ready to go. I love this mix of drivers. We got iRacing studs. We got real-life New Smyrna drivers, real-life Florida drivers in the mix. Green flag back out. Boy, that leader getting the jump here tonight. That lead is very important. Look at Gilbo in the Jesse Dutelli painted number 30. He's making some moves. Here comes Gilbo now up into the top 3 around. Katina, who, again, having a tough restart. Hayden Vach up to second. Gilbo now third, and the battle's on for fourth.
Gilbo, having a run in this race, was not able to make it back up through the field in his heat race after that incident with Corey Katina, but he's making the most out of this. Started in 8th, he's already up to 3rd. He has a very comfortable spot. As long as it doesn't go catastrophic here, he will very easily be able to race his way into the feature event, and I think he'll be one to watch throughout that feature as well. He's looked pretty strong here in both races while being on this racetrack. He could be somebody to make a hard charge through the field.
He's definitely going to be somebody we're going to watch. We'll probably see him a time or two in the main event. How about the Heartbreak Kid, Tyler Sontag, solidly qualified here tonight in the 91. He's been so close so many times. I know last week he made the show and then had trouble in the feature, but tonight in the late model, which Tyler might tell you this series might be his Achilles heel, but having a great run, old speed racer, Heartbreak Kid, whatever you want to call him, having a good run, solidly qualified. I see Art Hendren has been knocked out, one of our super stock regulars here at the New Smyrna Speedway. So Hendren currently not qualified in the 64. He's got to pick up a spot, currently in the 10th spot, 1 spot out of the money. Run a little bit high there in turn number 2. So Art Hendren needs to either get up on the wheel or have somebody have trouble in front of him. Right now, our final qualifier, I'm waiting for it to cycle through here, looks like, oh, I missed it there. Leininger in the 13, your final man right now as they run.
5 laps of racing remain here in our last chance qualifier. Things pretty calm and respectful throughout this race. The majority of these guys are making it in. There's really no need to go check on that battle for the transfer spot because David Leininger has about a 6-second advantage over Arthur Hendren for that. Hendren's probably going to need a caution flag at this point if he is going to have another legitimate opportunity to make it in. So everybody else, they know they're sitting in a good spot. Yes, of course, you would like to win this race or finish as well as you can for a starting spot, but in a 100 lap feature, starting position only means so much. That's quite a lot of time to be able to make some ground and make some passes on guys.
Yeah, you know, at this point, like we talked about earlier, if you're in a qualified spot, just back it down. Take care of the car. Get yourself into the main event. I would imagine that Art Hendren has had a bit of an issue. His car did not look like it was handling very well. Looks like he's going to be one of the odd men out here tonight. Richie, though, the 129, having a great run up front. He's going to look for the white flag this time by. He gets it from Eric Reynolds, our flag man. Final time around now here in this B feature for Richie, Bach, and Thompson.
It's been a pretty good night for Dylan Ritchie so far. Of course, you never want to run the B main, but he looked good in the heat. Lost that spot late in the going to Bruce Bennett, but there will be no denying him here. He is going to win the B main tonight. He will start in tonight's 100 lap feature event. He will take Hayden Vach with him. Jonathan Thompson finishes third. Jeffrey Gilbo fourth. Corey Katina fifth. Tyler Sontag sixth. David Castillo in seventh. Ryan Salvatore eighth. And David Leininger will get the ninth and final transfer spot. That means that Arthur Hendren, Timmy Walters, Jason Miller, and Jeff Cuddy, who did not start this B main event, will unfortunately be going home. In Timmy Walters' case, I guess it doesn't matter too much because apparently he has to go to work. But those will be your four drivers that will miss out on tonight's show.
Well, unfortunately, we can only start so many so that it's not a constant wreck fest. You know, Kyle, I was talking to Wes that maybe at the end of this whole thing, we do an enduro and just invite everybody into the madness and just let them go and see who can survive. I don't know. The more I talk about that, the more I think that's not a good idea. But, folks, coming up next, we have our main event 100 laps. We've seen the qualifying action. It's been good. These guys have come such a long way. I'm excited for the main event tonight, Kyle, and we'll see if anyone has anything for Ryan Matthews.
Yeah, I am too. We've seen a good night so far. It is worth mentioning that those drivers that did show up tonight and did not make it, they will be still awarded 10 points in the championship standings. So that way it's not a complete loss for them. So obviously not what you like to get, but it's at least something that you get for showing up. And it's also worth mentioning that a little bit of strategy is going to be needed with these guys tonight because they will not be able to make it all the way on fuel. They cannot take tires, but they will have to make a fuel stop throughout the event. So that'll be fun to watch to see what kind of pit strategy these guys throw throughout the race.
All right, so now we're going to send it down for tonight's national anthem, and then we'll be back for the main event.
Makes your favorite food taste even better? Not having it for a while. You want to know what makes the holidays so great? Only having them once a year. You want to know what made your first visit to the racetrack the best? Never having that experience before. When we have too much of something, it's easy to take it for granted. This is a reminder to appreciate every track, every race, every crew member, and every win. Because there will be a time when those moments seem out of reach.
All right, folks, we are back with you. You can see up on your screen, we alluded to it at the top of the show, but here are your current point standings. Get a look at your top 24 or so here. You can see the 2-point advantage for Ryan Borges ahead of Ryan Matthews. If you're wondering, well, I haven't heard their names all night long, that's because they were some of the lucky few to qualify in through the top 10. We'll recap that. Of course, we had an invert after qualifying. And here's a good look at your points so you can see where your favorite driver is running. Matthews and Borges, it's a dogfight right now. Those two are going to get a lot of screen time tonight because that points battle is so close. Sergi hoping they have problems so that they can close back in. Of course, Blake Clauser right there. Eric Purcell set fast time earlier. He's maybe one of those guys that makes a late season charge. Well, you got to see what's going to happen, though. 100 laps coming your way here in just a moment.
You know, and I don't think it could work out any better either, Ryan. Ryan Borges, your points leader. Ryan Matthews in points. Take a wild guess as to what your front row for this race is.
Matthews Borges?
You got that right. It's flip-flopped order from what we've seen. Well, it's the points order that's been throughout the majority of this season. But Ryan Matthews is going to be your pole sitter. Ryan Borges second in the starting lineup, so that'll be fun to watch. And Anthony Sergi not too far back either. He's going to start right behind Borges in P4, so this should be fun. We'll also make quick mention here that we actually just threw up a driver spotlight for Ryan Borges up just a little while ago, so if you're interested in learning more about our points leader here, you can check that out on Vidane.net. Should be pretty easy to find, and you can learn a little more about the personal life and the racing life in Ryan Borges. Ryan Borges is a longtime go-kart racer. He's only 21 years of age, but he started doing that at 14, so he's had a lot of success, and you can check that out on the Vidane.net website.
Well, Kyle, you mentioned good news for maybe the fans watching, but bad news for the drivers as the heavy hitters are going to be up front here tonight. Before we get going, though, ladies and gentlemen, we definitely need to give a big shout-out to our sponsors. Of course, Edgewater Screen, the presenting sponsor of tonight's action. They've been with us all season long. Hopefully, we'll have them together in the future. Edgewater Screen has been supporting short track racing for a number of years. They support James Adams and his sportsmen, so we thank them for coming aboard. Also, we're going to thank the O'Reilly Auto Parts Florida Pro Truck Challenge Series. Of course, you can catch them live here Monday nights on VidaneTV and all around the state of Florida. I know they'll be racing at 417 here pretty soon. If you want to keep up to date on all the Florida action, make sure you follow Sunshine State Racing on Facebook. They are your #1 page for everything Florida racing. They'll let you know exactly what's racing, what's happening in your neck of the woods so that you can make your plans to support your local short track. Of course, Edgewater Screen. Call them 386-428-8490 for all your screening needs. Hurricane season is in full force right now, so if you have one come through and you need your screens redone, call Edgewater Screen, 386-428-8490. And, of course, Super Spray Pressure Wash. That's James Adams' company. Hopefully we'll get him back in the server here pretty soon. But he'll get your house cleaned up, 386-566-0409. Also, Shed Life Shed Movers, the professional full-service shed moving company located in Central Florida. They'll take care of all your shed moving needs. If you need any of that, with hurricane season coming, you might need your shed rebuilt. I'm sure they can take care of you there as well. And of course, Rowdy's Dippin' Services. That's Wes's company. If your car needs an update, needs a paint job, get in touch with Wes. He'll take care of you there. You can call him at 904-814-3244. And we'd like to thank Dustin's Barbecue, Miller Lite, Persimmon Hollow, and Skip's Boots, some of our big track sponsors. We'll cover these throughout the cautions. But Kyle, it is time to go feature racing here tonight. Matthews and Borg's, pair of Ryans up on the front row.
The two drivers that have been oh so successful throughout the entirety of this series. Ryan Borges still without a win. His consistency has been enough to put him in the points lead, but he's only got it by 2 points over pole sitter Ryan Matthews. Should be a fun 100 laps. Strap in, friends and fans. It's time to go racing. The green flag has flown. We are underway for the 6th race of the new Smyrna Speedway World Series of Esports. Ryan Matthews, your pole sitter, gets off to the early race lead over Ryan Borges. Top 5 single file out. Cody Brinson in the 98 machine. He's going to make the quick offense underneath of Anthony Sergi. He wants that position.
We got trouble, I think, off turn number 4. I think I caught somebody spinning, and yes, the caution is going to come out. Not sure who it was, but Kyle saw it out of the corner. Oh, we got one upside down here on the front straightaway. That's the 6 machine. I believe that's Frazier there, who's gone upside down. We'll have to get you guys a replay of what happened there. Oh, yeah, yep. 6 went spinning, lazy spin up in front of the pack and just got kind of pushed over here. Let's go look at it from the blimp. You'll see a little bit of contact, a bump. You can get one bump here at New Smyrna, but 2-3 bumps going to cause a melee. You can see people piling in. Katina's involved. Now watch the 6 here. Up and over a lazy flip right past the start finish line. Not how you want to complete a lap, but we'll give them style points.
No, not at all. Once the 6 got spun around there, the 8 machine of Kyle Pitts just couldn't find a way to get around him and just kept shoving him until he finally got underneath the door and rolled him over. So not a very violent flip there for the 6 of Jimmy Frazier. He should be able to rejoin the field without too much stress.
Kyle, we've got a development here on pit road. The leaders have pitted. Things a little different here tonight. You can pit, and we saw the Ryans pit, and that's going to move Cody Brinson up to the top spot. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Pit strategy, I guess, going to be a player here tonight. I guess the Ryans, they want to keep each other in their sights. Of course, only 2 points between Borges and Matthews here tonight, so they're going to want to stay close to each other. But this brings a whole new layer into tonight's contest, so we're going to have to follow that. Cody Brinson now our race leader after just 5 laps.
Yeah, these guys will not be able to make a full race on the tank of fuel that they have in their car, so they are going to have to pit for fuel throughout the night. So clearly Ryan Matthews and Ryan Borges want to make that easy and try to get it taken care of right off the bat. The fun thing, for those that are unfamiliar with iRacing, this is our week 13 right now. So this is the week where iRacing usually deploys a lot of updates, some new content such as cars and tracks and stuff like that. And during this build that happened just yesterday, they implemented a tire set rule. So now in the server, we can force these guys to race on the set of tires that they started with. Before we had to police it, now we can just make it a setting in the server and they can't take tires no matter what they try to do. So that makes it easier for us. It makes it easier on them. They don't have to worry about it, but the fuel strategy will come in through the night. So there will still be some action on pit road throughout the entirety of this race.
And hey, let's be honest, we like to mix it up a little bit here. So here's a guy to keep your eye on. Bruce Bennett already right up into the challenge here as we go back to green flag racing. Cody Brinson, 98 on the outside. He's got the lead over Anthony Sergi, the former super late model champion here at the new Smyrna Speedway and 2-time winner on the World Series of Esports, brought to you by Edgewater Screen. So Cody Brinson, the 98, he is your race leader right now. Sergi settles into second. And how about Tanner Thomas driving for his dad, Patrick Thomas, here tonight. Patrick Thomas, a former sportsman champion here at the new Smyrna Speedway.
great run so far out of the 25 machine, solidly running in the top 5. He's currently in 4th. He's got a rear view mirror pretty full of the 88 of Eric Purcell. Remember, Purcell was our fast qualifier on the evening. He had to start 7th due to the invert, so he's trying to work his way back up through the field, looking underneath the 25 of Tanner Thomas at the moment. It makes a little bit of contact with the left rear corner panel, but doesn't do anything to the 25, so he'll have to fall back in line and wait for a better opportunity to get that spot, as Jesse Powers and Bruce Bennett fight behind him.
Well, Jesse Powers up from one of the qualifiers earlier. I'd like to correct myself. I was looking at the Nick Noggle automobile, the 08, who's up there in the 3rd spot. I thought that was Bruce Bennett, but Bruce Bennett just a couple spots behind those guys right now. 2 black cars with silver numbers on the side. I got them confused, so my apologies. But Bennett and Noggle off to great starts here tonight, as we're getting some green flag racing in this race. Dare I say it has a green flag look to it now.
Yeah, so far so good. We got a quick little battle for position that just started up between the 14 and the 051. The 14 is Dodge Colorburg. The 051 is Ryan Pierce. Pierce looked at the inside there going into turn number 1. Wasn't able to do anything with it, and it falls back in line. There is another battle going on just a few spots behind these guys. That is Ryan Matthews in the 51. He's trying to get underneath of our B-main winner, Dylan Ritchie, for position. Remember, Ryan Matthews battling his way back through the field. He made a pit stop under that first caution flag. These guys having to pit for fuel tonight, so he wanted to get it out of the way and hope that he can make it the rest of the way on that one stop, trying to work his way back through the field, but struggling right now with Dylan Ritchie.
Yeah, Kyle, I think he wanted to make sure he had that track position later in the race, because it's probably going to be easier to get your way back up through the field now than it will be later. Some of these guys might run out and hide at the lead, but then realize, oh, I don't have the fuel to make it to the finish, and that could mess up their whole night. So that is something we're going to have to watch, that a little bit different cog in pieces here tonight. We'll have to see how that's going, but Cody Brinson right now leading. We got a good battle here. Oh, we got one sideways on the front straightaway. Tanner Thomas in a battle there in the 25. He and that other machine got together. I couldn't quite tell who that was on the screen here, but we got battles all around the speedway. Bruce Bennett now pulling up right behind Tanner Thomas. Bruce Bennett already up into the top 5. That was Eric Purcell in 88 who was about around here on the front straightaway. So Thomas and Purcell got together. We'll have to see if that comes back to haunt the young Tanner Thomas here later in this event.
So far, so good. Nothing too egregious out of that. Everybody's starting to settle back in. You just mentioned Bruce Bennett up into the 5th position. He is trying to do his best to get... Oh, wow, look at the huge wiggle out of Tanner Thomas in the 25 machine. My goodness. Great job by Bruce Bennett and Eric Purcell to get around him without making more contact and making that a bigger incident. An awesome save by the 25 there. He wiggled for about half the backstretch, Ryan.
Yeah, he's lucky. That could have been real bad. And I think Bruce Bennett was saying, oh no, deja vu, because that's almost exactly what happened to him when he got into it with Cuddy there in the heat race. But Bennett able to avoid this one now up to 4th. Purcell, the fast qualifier from earlier, up to 5th after the invert. He's only been able to claw up 2 spots so far. Cody Brinson leading Anthony Sergi in the 20, as we got a battle between the minute Paul switches, because I talked about something else goes on. Now we got a battle. We got a spinner right in front of the leaders. Somebody was around as we stayed green. The admins being very well, they're saving the cautions for later, I guess. That I believe the 112 of Salvatore possibly around. Things are getting crazy out here, Kyle, but we continue under the green flag with Brinson leading Sergi.
That we do. We'll let you guys know that Race Control has given a warning to Anthony Sergi. Apparently he is suffering. Oh, Eric Purcell is crashing the upside down. Purcell, his own. Wow, what a development. Out of nowhere, Eric Purcell gets sideways coming out of turn number 2, pounds the outside wall, and he goes upside down completely on his own.
Oh, man.
No help whatsoever. Caution number 2 is out.
You know, Kyle, I've seen this story all too many times as we're going to watch it here. Watch Purcell. He gets loose, overcorrects, he hits the wall and goes upside down. That brings me back to my childhood at the Thunder Road Speed Bowl in Vermont. The way their front straightaway wall was angled, if a driver did that, they went on their lid every single time, and that looked just like what I saw every Thursday night when I was a kid. And now Eric Purcell going for that similar ride here at New Smyrna Speedway. So my childhood comes together with my adulthood there. And a tough break for Eric Purcell. bringing out the caution, lap 24. And now we'll have to see if anyone else makes their way to pit road. Maybe these cautions playing into the hands of those that don't pit. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Nobody coming down pit road this time, so it looks like Cody Brinson's still going to be your race leader. Again, huge thank you to Edgewater Screen, our title sponsor here of the World Series of Esports here on VidaneTV. Edgewater Screen, again, they support real-life racing and now supporting what we do here on Wednesday nights. You can call Edgewater Screen 386-422-8490 for all your screening needs. Again, remember, it is hurricane season, so put them on your speed dial in case your pool gets taken out or something like that. They'll get you back up in a jiffy.
So great to see so many supporting sponsors of this new Smyrna Speedway World Series of Esports getting down. Well, after tonight, we'll be 2/3 of the way through this series. Obviously, things starting to ramping up a little bit with the new Smyrna Speedway in real world as we slowly start to dial this thing down here on the virtual world. So we appreciate everybody that supports us here on VidaneTV and with the new Smyrna Speedway World Series of Esports. We are so glad to be able to partner with you, give you guys the exposure that you deserve, and put on the entertainment that everybody has been dying for, whether it's virtual or reality in the racing world. We're trying to get something out to you guys, and things are looking good, but we're still rocking it here on the virtual world. Just want to give a quick update before we go back to green. I don't really know what happened, but Dylan Ritchie unfortunately has retired from the event. I was watching his camera after the caution flag flew. He pulled down onto pit road and just left, so pretty bummer to see that. I was looking forward to watching Dylan race throughout this 100-lapper. He looked very strong throughout the preliminary events, and unfortunately, he's done for the night.
Well, maybe he had to get back to work just like Timmy Walters did in the B-Main. But another big thank you to College Hunks Hauling and Junk Moving of Daytona. They've been a big supporter of this series as well. That is College Hunks Moving. As we get ready to move back to green flag racing, Cody Brinson gets a big jump now on Nicholas Noggle out of Canada. Noggle has moved up to that second spot. And now here come the Ryans again. Matthews and Borges, as a couple of drivers did elect to pit. A little bit of an interesting sequence there as we were reading the sponsors. So things a little bit jumbled up, but here come the Ryans. Could be the Ryan and Ryan show as we expected once again here tonight at New Smyrna.
Yeah, one of those drivers that did decide to use this opportunity to pit that was up towards the front was the 20 machine of Anthony Sergi. He crossed the line that last time in 14th, so he's hoping that that was his one-and-done pit stop of the evening. We'll watch his progress coming up through the field throughout the rest of this one. Awesome battle for P3 right now. Colt Cecil and Jesse Powers are fighting it out. Cecil in that brightly yellow number 19 car. That battle will come to an end.
We got Dodge Carlbert around here back straightaway. Sorry there, Kyle. Yellow lights coming on, and Carlbert, the Florida Pro Truck Challenge Series regular in the B&E Auto number 14. He's gone around, started 14th, and he has run out this next caution. He was sitting broadside on the back straightaway, so the admins had to throw the caution. Let's get a look at it here on the instant replay to see what happened to Dodge Carlbert. Yeah, he was sitting there for quite a while. Oh, it looks like he and the 03 Katina get together, so we'll back it up, and we'll bring you a replay here. See Katina get a little bit out of shape going into turn number 1, and then he swings it wide. Oh, looks like maybe the 14 trying to dodge the 13 there, and they just came together. So just one of those situations. They just ran out of space. The back straightaway narrows up off the corner, and there you see the end result. Tough break for Dodge Carlbert in the 14.
You know, watching the 14 there, that was a good execution of one of the rules that these guys have put in place. The admin team has put in place for this series. In a situation like that, you would have hoped that the 14 of Carlbert would have gotten his car moving in time to keep this race green, but since he did not, race officials, he was still on the racetrack. He was far enough off the racing line to where the leaders could pass on by, so they waited for him to lose a lap before they threw the caution flag. Now I see him as 2 laps down, so I don't know if he was already a lap down prior to that. But that's the price that you pay for trying to wait around and sit to get your caution flag if you have an issue. So now Dodge Carlbert sits 2 laps down, all the way back in 22nd position, going to need a lot of hard work to recuperate from that whole ordeal and try to have a good finish here tonight.
Yes, sir. And Cody Brinson still showing the way ahead of Nicholas Noggle, Colt Cecil. I'd like to remind you to check out www.cagegauge.com, #1 roll cage fabrication tool for the do-it-yourself cage builder. eliminates the guesswork, creates accurate templates. If you're looking to build your own cage, you need to get a cage gauge. Check them out at cagegauge.com. We appreciate them for supporting what we do here on VidaneTV. And speaking of VidaneTV, make sure you guys like and subscribe here to not only the Facebook page, but the YouTube page. They're racing all the time. I don't know how these guys have enough hours in the day to do what they do. But if you like this iRacing, virtual racing stuff, please follow, subscribe, like the Facebook page, go to their website, stay engaged with what they have going on, because they got racing pretty much, gosh, it seems like you guys do it 24/7.
It's going to be a busy week or a busy month for us. May was extremely successful, and we've got another jam-packed month here for June. June has 30 days, and we have 21 shows, 21 different days where we have something going on here on VidaneTV. So we love to see things in the real world racing world. We love to see things coming back in the real racing world, but the sim racing world never dies, no matter what time of year it is, and we appreciate the business and looking forward to seeing what happens on all of these shows moving forward. The green flag has flown on this show, and we're back racing once again. Cody Brinson and Nicholas Noggle coming out to a clear lead. A little slide there for the 19 in position number 3. He's dealing with Jesse Powers once again. That battle immediately reigniting after it lost its flame from the caution flag there. Ryan Matthews, he wants his nose into that fight. Jesse Powers clears the 19 for 3rd, and now here comes the 51 for 4th.
Matthews coming up there, and here comes Blake Clouser in the 9. Blake Clouser in a replica of the car his father used to drive here at the new Smyrna Speedway. You can catch Rich Clouser racing the Pro Truck Series here on Monday nights, and apparently he's got a Pro Truck that he's getting ready to drive. Colt Cecil, the Pro Truck driver, getting sideways. Looks like he's on the dirt over at Volusia right now, trapped on that bottom lane. He can't find the bite there, and he's going backwards, getting freight trained as a couple of other drivers get around him here on the outside. That outside lane starting to become the way around here as this track continues to change, Kyle.
Yeah, Colt Cecil is on the struggle bus in a big way ever since this restart. He cannot keep that car underneath of him. He's sliding all over the place, losing positions. Now Ryan Borges in the 33 car, our current points leader, looks to his inside and wants to continue the derailment of the 19 car. He gets a good run coming off the top there, but Borges a nice dive into turn number 3 on the bottom side. Tanner Thomas got big time sideways a few cars behind these two. I think he may have gotten help from the 10 of Hayden Bach, but everybody still keeps it straight, and we remain green.
We're watching last week's winner, Anthony Sergi, try to make his way up through the field, currently battling Colt Cecil for that 9th position. Sergi back in the top 10, was as high as 2nd earlier today, but got shuffled back when he had to make that pit stop. Everybody's still chasing Cody Brinson. But man, Ryan Matthews up to 4th. Ryan Borges only up to 8th. That will cause a change in the championship standings. If things ended now, Ryan Matthews would be back atop the standings. But hey, there's still a long way to go.
That there is. We're closing in on the halfway mark. Still lots of opportunity for things to change. Big mistake that last lap out of the 8 of Kyle Pitts. I don't know exactly what happened, but he was low and slow off the pace on the backstretch. Gave up a handful of positions. He's back running up at race pace once again, but he is in position number 16 as he crosses the line. Jeffrey Gilbo now, he just had a problem. He loses a few spots. Tyler Sontag getting around him at the moment as they work down the back straightaway. So some fierce racing mid-pack here. Some guys starting to slip and slide a little bit.
Absolutely. We're seeing some fierce racing, but what I like so much, if you've been with us from week number 1 or even the 100-lapper we put on to kind of kickstart this thing on the new Smyrna page, as Jeffrey Gilbo tries, well, I thought he was trying to go split the gap there, but he spun it off turn number 2. I thought Gilbo was going to go to the infield there for a moment. He gets it refired. We're going to stay green, but just as I was going to say, these guys have come such a long way from the first race we did here at the new Smyrna Speedway. We used to only get 2-3 laps in before caution would come out, before we thinned out the field. Now we're getting these long green flag runs. We're seeing comers and goers. It's starting to feel like real racing out here. Speaking of real racing, here comes Ryan Matthews right to the back bumper of Cody Brinson. Brinson has not yet pitted, and he does not want to look in his rearview mirror.
No, he does not. The winningest driver here in the new Smyrna Speedway World Series of Esports, Ryan Matthews, made it his pit stop after our first caution at the completion of lap number 1. He has already worked his way through the field. and is trying to reel in Cody Brinson to regain possession of the race lead. It's been absolutely incredible to watch Ryan Matthews race, to see the consistency and the strength that he has put on all season long has been phenomenal. Yeah, he was knocked back to reality a little bit and had issues last week, but he's right back to where we're used to seeing him. Caution flag has flown here. We've got some type of trouble on the racetrack, potentially with Jeffrey Gilbo and maybe David Castillo. I can see them towards the back of the field. Yep, Dodge Carlbert also involved. It was between the 14 of Dodge Carlbert, the 50 of David Castillo, and the 6 of Jimmy Frazier in turns 3 and 4. Looks like the 50 and the 14 got together, and the 6 didn't really have too much place to go and kind of jacked up the 50.
Another tough break here for Dodge Carlbert. And we'll get a look at it here. Castillo in the 50, Carlbert 14. And 14 a little bit loose there. Castillo got a little bit of a tip there from Frazier, but those cars sitting in a bad spot there on the racetrack. It's the caution having to come out here at halfway with Cody Brinson still your leader. And again, we want to remind you folks, make sure you go to Facebook. If you're watching this, I'm sure you have Facebook. Go there and like Sunshine State Racing so that you can stay up to date on everything going on in Florida racing. I don't care if you're from Florida or not. Follow them so that you can keep up to what 90% of these guys that you're seeing tonight racing are going to be doing here throughout the year. And again, if you are from Florida and you're wondering, well, who's racing? What is racing? Florida State or Sunshine State Racing does a great job keeping you up to date on everything you need to know. So if you want to go to Citrus to watch the Modified 100, if you want to go to New Smyrna for opening night, they'll tell you all about it. So follow them at Sunshine State Racing. As we are now into the second half of this race, what do you think, Kyle? Ryan Matthews still the guy to beat?
I really think so. Eventually, Cody Brinson is going to have to come down pit road and make a pit stop. We know that he's not going to be able to make it out there on fuel unless it's an extreme caution fest from this point on. He's going to have to pit, which will eventually hand the lead over to Ryan Matthews if he doesn't take it on his own. So it'll be fun to see if there's anybody that can challenge him. We know Ryan Borges made the pit stop with the 51 car. He is currently in position number 6, so he's only a few spots behind Ryan Matthews. Those two guys, of course, your top 2 in points. So Borges knows he's got a very small margin. If it were to end now, Matthews would take over that points lead again, so he wants to try to get back to that 51 car and try to prevent that from happening. We know Anthony Sergi has made a pit stop. He is back inside the top 10. He is currently in position number 9. Some of our other front runners, Blake Clauser's been looking good. He's working his way back up through the field. He's also a top 5 contender in the points. Bruce Bennett currently sitting in 5th. He made a strong run in his heat race. He's looking good. Jesse Powers has looked good throughout the night. He's been very fast. He's currently in 4th. So we've got some guys that can contend with Ryan Matthews. Of course, Ryan is in front of all of them except for Cody Brinson. But just because he's out in second doesn't mean he's got anything guaranteed. These guys are good. They're competitors. And like you've been saying, everybody's starting to get into a rhythm now. They're getting more familiar with each other. They're getting more familiar with the sim. They're getting more familiar with how these cars drive. And as we continue to progress and get into our championship weeks here, I think the competition is going to continue to increase.
It's only going to get better from here on out as Cody Brinson gets the jump as we go back. Green flag racing, 54 laps complete. The guy I'm going to keep my eye on is that black number 60, Bruce Bennett. I think he's passed more guys than anyone here tonight as he's battling now just outside the top 5 as he battles the 33 car. As the 3 goes way up the racetrack, and well, that's because we got a caution. The caution has immediately come back out. Looks like we've had trouble towards the back of the field. Might be the 19 of Colt Cecil as we take a look in here towards the back. Cecil may have had a problem. Paul's down there working the controls tonight, and he's going to fire us up a replay here. And, it started ahead of Colt Cecil. Cecil just an innocent bystander, so we'll play this back, and we'll bring it to you here. Looks like Castillo got up, and Eric Purcell collecting Gilbo. Gilbo up on his side. Colbert, Cecil, and Frazier all pile in, so 2 of the Truck Series regulars getting together. And, that was just one of those. One guy gets spun around and collects the back half of the field.
Yeah, lots of carnage there in the back portion of the field here. on lap number 55. We'll see what how bad things are. Didn't look like a very vicious crash. Wasn't a lot of speed involved there off the restart. Everybody's still kind of building up their speed, but lots of cars involved for sure. Going to make things a little bit difficult for some of the competitors moving forward. Not too sure exactly what race control deemed on that previous issue there with the 50, the 6, and whoever else it was. I can't think of the third car that was involved, but we'll have to see what happens here. It could potentially be the second caution for the 50 of Castillo, and if that's the case, he'll have to park that machine for the rest of the race, but we'll wait to see what race control makes their decision on, and we'll go from there. The 50 is still out on the racetrack right now and is pacing around in 20th place, the penultimate car on the lead lap.
Well, Kyle, I think race control is going to be busy from here on out. The further these races go, and the closer we get to that checkered, the more the aggression picks up. A lot of tire marks up on the wall over there in 1 and 2, so it looks like the track might have to call super spray pressure wash this week. Of course, that is James Adams' company. It's kind of what keeps his racing going in real life. But super spray pressure wash has been in business for a long, long time. You can give them a call, 386-566-0409. We're going to have to call them to get all those black marks off the wall. I wish there was a way to do that and pretty this track up a little bit here in the game, but in real life, call Super Spray Pressure Wash, 386-566-0409. They'll make everything look like new.
No, I want to say we've shouted out Sunshine State Racing a few times tonight. I currently live in New York. I don't spend a lot of time down in Florida. I have over the last few years for the Speed Weeks. I've used that page every time I'm down in Florida. I always come down with a race chasing plan, but if Mother Nature gets involved, something happens, I always go to them to see if there's something that I don't know about that is going on that I could replace a race that gets taken out, or if there's something going on that I don't know and I have an opening, I go to their website, their Facebook page, to try to figure something out.
And that's what's so great.
Fantastic page.
They cover everybody. They don't play favorites. They cover everybody. And they got 2, 3, 4 people working on that page trying to bring all that info. They do a great job because there's a lot that goes on every week. As there's a lot left in this one as we go back green. Cody Brinson takes lead ahead of Matthews. Matthews normally the king of restarts. So Brinson, I think he's made his bet at this point. He's going to try to stay out and run this thing until it runs dry. We'll see if that's going to work out for him or not. Now we have a battle. How about for third, Nicholas Noggle, the Canadian driver, up into third now, but here comes Bruce Bennett, who's raced all the way up to the 4th spot. Bruce Bennett might be the dark horse here tonight.
Battle for the race lead going into turn number 3. Ryan Matthews has found a small opening underneath the 98 car. He loses that opening now as they go to the front stretch, but he is starting to pressure Cody Brinson. I think you're right here, Ryan. With less than 40 laps to go, it would be kind of strange to see the 98 go on the pit road for fuel. So maybe we don't get to see the fuel levels on these cars from up here in the booth. So maybe he has been able to save enough fuel under these cautions and is going to try to make it all the way. It's going to be very tough to hold off Ryan Matthews for the next 30. Oh, a bit of a bump there coming off for turn number 2. How about that? A nice little nudge moves him up the racetrack, and we're side by side for the lead again.
What will Brinson do here? He gets pushed up into the outside lane. Matthews going to lead that lap by a bumper cover as Brinson holds him down on the inside. He's not going to let him get that topside momentum. Veteran moves out of the youngster here on the top side. Brinson 98, Matthews 51, but give the advantage to Matthews as they come off the corner. And don't look now, but the battle is on as Brinson's starting to slip back. Oh, and contact! Brinson's going around. Oh, look out! Turn 2.
He does a quick 360 and keeps it going. Now the caution. Oh no, he slammed the brakes. Somebody else piled in there. Caution flag flies for the 98 of Cody Brinson. All that strategy that we were just talking about has gone out the window. Got contacted from the 08 of Nicholas Noggle. Kind of looks like Noggle slid up and just tagged him in the left rear. He had it going again, but he wanted his caution flag, so he parked it right up at the top of turn 2. Got his yellow, and then I think that's the 113 machine, or the 13 machine of David Leininger. Not sure how he kind of spun and made contact with the back end there, but what a heartbreaker for Cody Brinson.
Yeah, heartbreaker for sure. We were just talking about him. He had kind of made his bet as far as his strategy. At this point, you might as well come get that fuel and try to salvage something, but man, it's getting crazy up front. The aggression is picking up, and we still got over 30% of this race to run. Ryan Matthews, though, he's battled his way back. Remember, he pitted on that first caution. It's taken him this long to get up front. Track position is going to be key here over these final 30 laps or so. It's going to be hard to wrestle it away from Matthews. I think he's undefeated in super late model competition here at the New Smyrna Speedway in iRacing, at least with VidaneTV. But now, Bruce Bennett and Anthony Sergi running second and third. The cream has risen to the top, and they're going to settle it amongst themselves. It looks like the 08 might have gotten the penalty there. Maybe Kyle can confirm that for us.
Checking through the server information, I don't believe I've seen a... No, I don't see a server message sending the 08 of Noggle to the rear of the field. I don't know if he came down pit road on his own. Yes, he did. Nicholas Noggle came down to pit road on his own, so maybe he decided to penalize himself before race control did. So Noggle will go to the back of the field for that. So I think race control was probably going to do that anyway. I didn't pay too close attention in all the fun cameras that I've got with iRacing, but just kind of from the view that I'm looking at to call this race, it looked like he slid up into the 98 car. So that's unfortunate for the 08. He was looking very good. He's always a strong competitor here in this series. So now he'll have a long, hard charge to do through the field to try to salvage a good finish in the remainder of this one. This should be fun. You are correct, Ryan. Ryan Matthews did win the first super late model race that we had in this series 3 weeks ago. But now he's got some strong competitors. We've seen how good Bruce Bennett has been tonight. Anthony Sergi, of course, always a threat. Jesse Powers has looked good. Blake Clouser is back to the top 5 for the first time tonight. Don't just give this to Ryan Matthews quite yet.
No, you can't, because Bruce Bennett, Anthony Sergi, those two drivers very familiar with the Speedway in real life. Bruce Bennett, we see him come out with his modified and have great runs. Anthony Sergi, super late model, he wins every year. He's got a championship, and he's always up near the front. So you got two guys that really know the Speedway in real life. You got one guy who's really good at iRacing. Who's it going to be as Matthews? I told you earlier, king of the restarts. You can see why when he's the control car, he takes off. He gaps everybody by a car length or two, going into one, and Bruce Bennett going to hang on to that second spot as Sergi now has to battle with the 32 of Jesse Powers. Jesse Powers' first time back after having his baby, and trying to get up there and win one for the newborn.
Oh, we got another car upside down. I think that's the 10 of Hayden Vaught. Caution flag has flown. Indeed, it was big contact, and Hayden Vaught, the next recipient to go upside down. It started on the front stretch. He made contact with the 24 of Dalton Smith, and then it looks like he tried to fit back in line, but Tyler Sontag filled the hole, and he did not have the clearance to do so. They meet in the outside wall, and that shoots the 10 car upside down.
That was a huge hit, and those two come together. And if you've ever driven the New Smyrna Speedway, ever been to the New Smyrna Speedway and looked down the front straightaway, it's not exactly straight. I think the guys who built the wall way back in the day might have been having a little bit too much fun. And that wall right there at the point where they hit it juts out at you and launched the 10 of Hayden Vaught, collected the 3, collected the 6. I think a couple more guys might have had trouble on the back straightaway. That's just one of those big old wrecks that you see here at the Super Speedway of short tracks here at the New Smyrna Speedway. And, well, it didn't affect Ryan Matthews, though, did it?
No, it did not. Ryan Matthews, as you mentioned, he just schooled these guys on that restart and absolutely drove away. He continues to look strong, and now that we get to this part of the season, we can start seriously talking about championship. We know how tight the points battle is. Let's see here. We've got the top 5 guys only separated by 42 points, and we've mentioned throughout the night the 2-point gap between Ryan Borges and Ryan Matthews. Ryan Borges has struggled a little bit since we've gone back to racing. He's dropped to position number 8. He was 6th just a little while ago, so that is only going to help Ryan Matthews extend the points lead if things were to end right now. But Anthony Sergi, he's only 2 spots behind Ryan Matthews. Sergi is 3rd place in the points, 30 points back. Yes, it's nice to continue to finish well, and he is beating Ryan Borges, so he'll gain points on him, but he's 28 points behind Ryan Matthews. So he'll gain on Borges, but he's going to lose overall on Ryan Matthews if things were to end right now. So, you know, he's happy about winning last week's race. He's got 2 wins on the season, but those 2 wins are not enough right now, as he's got a pretty healthy gap back on the points lead, and he wants to close that up here. We've only got 3 races left after tonight, so time's starting to run out a little bit.
Yeah, and Sergi's season kind of took a dip when we ran the tour mods here a few weeks ago. I think Sergi finished back in the 20s during that race, and that's put him behind the 8 ball. He's been one of the only drivers to really have anything for Ryan Matthews, but nobody's had anything for Ryan Matthews in a super late. Since we started the eWorld Series, he's been phenomenal in these cars, and we did the new Smyrna 100 back before we started this series to kind of there was the catalyst that jump started all of this. Ryan Matthews came out and won that event, which was actually played in front of, well, all of the dignitaries at New Smyrna Speedway. So Ryan Matthews, one of these days we got to get him down here to actually race at the New Smyrna Speedway since he won that race. But Ryan's been so hard to beat in these supers, and I honestly believe his experience and his restarts. Watch him here as he fires and takes off down the front straightaway, and again gaps Bruce Bennett by a car length. Those restarts are phenomenal.
He's just doing absolutely everything perfect right now and leaves the field behind. Bruce Bennett is clear in a second, but Anthony Sergi's
we got a crash.
Oh, we got another Blake Clausen
around. And Dalton Smith. Oh, man, we got a crash in 2 and a crash in 4. Paul Strickland, I know you've had a long day, buddy, but, boy, your night's getting even longer. Because now you got 2 replays to figure out here. Looks like we're going to rewind some things for you. We're gonna show you what happened up front, though, because these guys are running up in the top 5. Watch Blake Clauser in the 9. Tanner Thomas gives him a little boop. Around he goes, and up into Dalton Smith, an innocent bystander. Cody Brinson getting a piece of the action. Oh, man, crash right in the middle of the field, but it all started off turn number 2. I'm not sure who was involved, but they got wrecking in turn number 2 and brought it all the way to turn number 4. We'll see if Paul can dial us up here. Some of this turn 2 action that started on the restart. Yes, Katina and the 13 were involved. Dodge Carlbert in there as well. So here's another look at it. Oh, the 03 was wrecking here on the front straightaway. Nick Noggle got into him. Here we go. So Kyle, it all starts here. The 08 and the 03 get together, going into turn 1. Up the racetrack, collecting the 13. 19 gets in it. Boy, this wreck started halfway down the front straightaway, ended in turn 2. And then Kyle, we saw what happened in turn 4. A wild lap here.
Yeah, 2 separate incidents happening there. I kind of think that race control threw the caution for the one that happened in turn 2, because literally just before they threw the caution, Blake Clauser ended up getting turned around. So we'll see what race control decides to do here. We do know that they aren't too happy with these caution flags, so we have gone to a single file restart for the moment. I don't know how many single file restarts that we are going to get, seeing that we are under 20 laps to go, and we want to keep things exciting, keep the double file as long as we can. So we will go single file for this restart. If we don't get another one, obviously great, but we'll see what happens if we do. So it doesn't look like anybody's been sent tail for either issue just yet. The race control probably still trying to check some things out and get everything sorted before we go back to green. But all we know is that we will definitely have a single file restart this time.
Probably for the best here, as we've seen these restarts not really be too kind to these drivers. We're going to have less than 20 to go. Maybe the final restart, maybe not. The way these races have gone, at the beginning we get some green flag laps in. We see some great racing, and then we hit about the halfway point, maybe the 40% mark, and the aggression picks up, and these wrecks start to happen. And it's really shuffled some good drivers to the back of the field here. That top 3, though, such a solid group, going to be tough to beat. You got Ryan Matthews, your leader, Bruce Bennett, Anthony Sergi up in the top 3. I think those positions are going to be pretty solid. Jesse Powers rounding out your 4th position. We're going to have to see what happens. You see the drivers running way up high here on this single file restart as we go back to green. That's so that no one gets a run to their outside. And again, Ryan Matthews, good restart. Sergi's car starting to blink in and out, might be having connection issues. Battles on for 4th, a little bit further back with Powers in the 32, trying to hang on for that position as the top 3 continue to run single file.
Ryan Borges has been perfect all season long in this series with top fives. He's trying to keep that alive. He's in 5th right now, but is working on the 32 for position number 4. The two of them got pretty tight there on the backstretch, but he's working his way back. Clears himself. That was tight, but he makes it work. And how about the 88 car of Eric Purcell? Purcell has cracked the top 5 for the first time since his early race flip.
Where did he come from?
Beat up.
Right now.
The P5.
That guy was upside down like 40 laps ago, and here he is battling again for the top 5. That shows you the caliber of driver from Eric Purcell. He is just that good, folks. He can flip a car, he can fix a car and get it back out there and still compete for a top 5. Dalton Smith still running decent, even though he's got the crumpled hood. Jesse Powers has slipped back a little bit on this restart. Here's Dalton Smith. Here comes Cody Brinson, though, once again. Brinson getting racy with 12 laps to go in the 98.
Yeah, Brinson trying to get back to the front as far as he can, trying to recover after leading the entirety of the first half of this one. Had some issues and is trying to come back strong to salvage a good finish. Kyle Pitts has also made a nice recovery. He was back marred in mid-pack. Oh, trouble! The 051 gets into the 13, crashes him on the front stretch. David Castile finds problems with that as well. Colt Cecil gets caught up in it. Also, big mess in 1 and 2. There's 4 cars sitting up at the top there. Jeffrey Gilbo, Jonathan Thompson is in it. The 9 of Blake Clouser got involved. The lap machine all started with the lap machine. The 13 of David Leininger, he got tagged by the 051 of Ryan Pierce. Kind of got in the way. Pierce just punted him, and multiple other cars getting caught up. Not exactly sure what happened with the 50 here, but we're checking things out on the replay now.
Yeah, the 50, he got tapped. He was turned around, collateral damage there, and then as the 13 came up around the racetrack, hit the 19, collecting the 30, and then Blake Clouser, it looked like he had the incident cleared initially, had committed to the top side, kind of like Ty Dillon at Bristol, and just piled right in. And man, that was wild. That 13, the lap car, just kind of came out of nowhere and was running considerably off the pace. Closing rate became an issue there, triggered that big wreck, and you saw the 13 up on his side, that wall, grabbing another one here tonight.
Man, oh man, the plot thickens once again. So Race Control has made the decision to go back to double file restarts. I think that's one of the rules written in the book, that anything 10 laps or less to go, and we go back to double files. So everybody's going to line up next to each other here. We're going to have some hurt feelings, some bent up sheet metal for this restart. Things are going to get a little more aggressive. I have a feeling towards the back. Some of these guys that got involved with that crash are going to want to try to recover from their issues that just happened. They're not going to have a lot of time to do it. We're probably only going to have about 5 or 6 laps to go once we get this restart. One final chance for Bruce Bennett to try to at least match Ryan Matthews on these restarts. We haven't, well, actually, as soon as I say that, Bruce Bennett has disappeared from the second place position. I'm not sure if he made a pit stop there or not, but he's not up front anymore.
Oh man, it looks like
I'm actually hearing he's stopped at the bottom of turn 3 right now.
Oh boy, so Bruce, this is a huge development. I was just going to say, Bruce Bennett last week was racing Anthony Sergi for the win. Probably could have taken him out if he wanted to, but those two good friends. I was just going to say, he's not going to treat Ryan Matthews the same way, and now Bruce Bennett apparently, okay, he's rolling again, kind of, sort of. I don't know what's going on here, folks. Bruce Bennett with issue. I guess connection issues, apparently. We're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen here, because I thought we were going to be set up for a crazy finish. Real quick, Kyle, though, I'd like to thank some of our actual track sponsors here at the new Smyrna Speedway that are supporting us here on the eRacing side of things. Dustin's Barbecue. They've been a long-time sponsor. They're still open. I know they're open for takeout. They're probably offering limited seating, so make sure you support Dustin's Barbecue. Of course, Persimmon Hollow, our local brewery sponsor. I think they're allowing people back in, but check out their website, Persimmon Hollow. Great place to go hang out. Skip's Boots. Check them out, skipsboots.com. And of course, the Miller Lite overtime finish, perhaps in play tonight. We'll have to wait and see. Bruce Bennett on the gas trying to size up Ryan Matthews, but again, Ryan Matthews pulls away, and Sergi goes way up the track. Caution is back out, so hold that thought. Hold that thought. Caution
I think West was trying to extend that caution period to get Bruce Bennett properly lined back up. I don't know if that was
a little disorganized there, so probably a good call by the admins.
I don't necessarily know if he was able to get that in time to have a 1-lap extension or what. The pace cars picked up the majority of the field in turn 4. We got like the top 10 or so waiting for the pace car to catch back up. So I don't know if we're just getting a quick extension or if we're going to have to run through a whole nother caution period again. I do see the lights off on the pace truck, so that makes me think we're going green here, but we'll see what happens.
All right, Kyle. So this could be it. This could be the final restart. Ryan Matthews, the king of the restarts. Bruce Bennett, last week, gave Anthony Sergi what I consider to be a break because they're buddies. They race each other clean on the racetrack, race each other clean here online. I don't know if Bruce Bennett's going to be that nice to Ryan Matthews, though. So we're going to have to wait and see here. Ryan Matthews not in the state of Florida, so Bennett can probably lay into him, but I don't think it's going to matter because here comes Ryan Borges in the 33, the point leader. Way at the racetrack, though. Here comes Sergi, who's going to come out with second place. Borges! The point leader gets turned. Oh, and somebody's upside down. It's gone. It's calamity on the backstretch.
Oh my goodness, a huge developing story here in the points fight. Ryan Borges, I saw what he was trying to do. He had some contact with the 60 of Bruce Bennett that shot him up the racetrack. There was a bit of a hole in between Bennett and Sergi. Going on that outside, he had a run and wanted to split the uprights to take it, but Eric Purcell wasn't anticipating him to do that, and he got into the left rear of Borges and spun him around. Borges makes contact with the inside wall, and then I think that was Nicholas Noggle that got upside down. Corey Katina made contact with him. That's not the first time the two of them have made contact tonight, Ryan.
No, it's not. That's huge because Borges looked like he was going to fly around the outside and maybe take over the second spot, which would have kept the points battle very, very close going into the final few events. We're riding with one of our competitors here as we're going to take you through a replay. We are on board with Borgs here, so we're going to get a look at what happened. You see him on this restart, get to the outside of Bennett, rubbing fenders. Borgs goes way up high, but then Bennett kind of overdrove the corner. Sergi takes over, and then Borgs cuts down on the inside, trying to make a move, and then got tagged, I believe, in the right or in the left rear, turned around into the inside wall. Yeah, he got tagged there by Eric Purcell trying to make this crossover move. And, man, they just came together. No fault of Eric Purcell's. And there you see Nicholas Noggle going for the wild ride. That back straightaway wall acts like a launching pad here as if we were at Cape Canaveral. But, man, what a turn of events. This is really going to mix up the points. Advantage Ryan Matthews.
Yeah, this could very well ruin the top 5 perfection that Ryan Borges has had all season long. And this also opens up the opportunity for Anthony Sergi to close in as well. Of course, he's only one spot behind Ryan Matthews right now, but this still is a perfect opportunity for him to close in on Ryan Borges in that points fight. It seems as long as everything stays fine with Matthews is going to take the points lead back over, but this could help potentially tighten that gap between Borges and Sergi if Sergi's able to hang on. Now, look at this, Ryan. 5 races complete. We're on race number 6. We've had 2 winners. There's a reason why we've had 2 winners, because they've been fantastic all season long, and those 2 winners are on the front row for this first green-white.
Kyle, it doesn't matter what we throw at them, what kind of car, what rules, what strategies have to be played. They always find themselves up front. This could very well be a tie, and I would not be surprised. These 2 are so good. Sergi, of course, so good at this track in real life. Ryan Matthews has his track figured out on iRacing. It is now time for Miller Time Overtime as we get ready to try to settle it. It's going to be a 2-lap shootout if the caution doesn't come back out, of course. Here we go. Ryan Matthews, king of the restarts. Anthony Sergi, the former track champion here at the new Smyrna Speedway. Bruce Bennett, the modified ace, down there in third. Eric Purcell, upside down, back up to third. What's going to happen? Matthews gets the whole shot here on the restart, but Sergi keeping him in tow here as they come off 2.
Anthony Sergi stalking the back bumper of the 51 of Ryan Matthews. Will he make a move? Will he give him the bumper? Here we go. White flag is out. Final time. Ryan Matthews trying to go for win number 4. Sergi continues to blink here. Half a lap to...
Sergi, half a car length now, 2 car lengths back. Can he make a move? I don't think he's close enough. Ryan Matthews not going to make a mistake. He comes off turn number 4. Once again, Ryan Matthews is going to be your winner. Sergi second, and Eric Purcell completes a fantastic comeback for third. Bruce Bennett fourth. Kyle Pitts rebounds to fifth. And it's Pierce, Powers, Brinson, Dalton Smith, and Tanner Thomas, your top 10. A shootout there to the end, but once again, Ryan Matthews wins the race and will definitely take over the point lead here after a crazy night at the new Smyrna Speedway.
We'll let you know that on the other side of the spectrum, Ryan Borges comes home in position number 12 tonight. So that is an 11 position difference between the top two in points. That is going to hurt Ryan Borges. He will definitely lose the points lead tonight. It's also going to it's also going to hurt his gap back on Anthony Sergi as well. Sergi finishing second, one spot behind Ryan Matthews. So he won't lose too many points on the overall points lead. He'll lose just a bit, but he'll at least be able to get closer to second place as he has a big advantage over Ryan Borges here tonight. What a wild show. We saw a lot of good green flag racing going on throughout the first portion of the event. As things got towards the end, the craziness ramped up a little bit, and we saw some more cautions, but the action definitely didn't slow down. And you mentioned it, I mentioned it a little while ago. Eric Purcell, all by himself early on in this race, I think he was still in the top 5 at that point, made a mistake, put himself upside down, totally untouched, 100% all on him. He recovered and still got on the podium. Fantastic drive for Eric Purcell. I don't know if we have any good hands driver of the race award or something like that, but he's got to be the best candidate at that.
It's just incredible because you see him upside down, could have been frustrated, could have just quit, called it a night right there. But for him to drive up through the pack, we knew he was fast because he qualified first during the qualifying session at the beginning of the show. But, man, what a drive. It'd be so easy to get frustrated and then lose your concentration. Maybe even just, like I said, quit the server. But he battled back, finished third. It was an up-and-down night for a lot of people. We saw a lot of comers and goers, some great racing. This series just continues to get better and better. I know there was a lot of cautions towards the end, but all things considered, this might be one of the best races of this entire series. Maybe it wasn't the side-by-side crazy finish that you wanted to see, but Ryan Matthews, he's the guy right now. Everybody else, they need to go do their homework. They need to start practicing some more. They got to find a way to beat this guy because it does not matter what we throw at Ryan Matthews. He's a contender week in and week out. And I'm interested to see if somebody else is going to step up to the challenge. All right, so we got Ryan Matthews. Ryan, you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Ryan, congratulations. You've done it again. We keep changing things up on you, and it doesn't matter, man. Whatever the strategies might be, you always find yourself up at the front. How do you keep doing it week after week after week?
It's really just, being smart about it. I figured out that we didn't have enough fuel to finish before the race if it had went green most of the way, which so I pretty much just knew, like, if I pitted early, then yeah, I'd be in the back for the first part of the race, but as other people needed fuel, they'd pit later and then they'd come out behind me, so I'd just get the track position as the race went on.
See, and that strategy ultimately worked out for you. But when you pit early and you put yourself at the back of the field with all the carnage that kind of goes back on in the middle of the pack, how do you avoid all that? How do you keep the nose of this car so clean?
Yeah, there's a bunch of slower cars, and you just got to be patient, and because when you're way fast, you roll up to them in the center, so you just got to back up your corners and just be patient around them, and eventually you'll get by them.
Well, I've got some good news for you. Your closest competitor, Ryan Borges, had some problems here right at the end of the race and finished outside the top 10. Of course, with your win, you take over the point lead. How do you feel about that going into the final couple of races of the season? Are you worried about points, or are you just trying to win them all?
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate for Ryan. Him and I were having a good race. We've been having good races throughout the season, so that kind of sucks for him. But as far as the point side, I think it's really just me and him, and then I think Sergi is 30 points back from us. I'm not sure what it's going to be like after this race, but yeah, it's kind of a little bit of both. Like, of course, I want to win them all, but it's also about playing points smart and just making sure that you get consistent finishes, even though if it's not wins, at least it can be just top fives. And last week didn't really go our way. We kind of got wrecked and didn't had some internet issues for qualify, so that race didn't really go our way. But we rebounded pretty good this week.
So now at this point, do you play the points game? Do you just try to race conservatively, or do you go aggressive and try to win? Does this change your strategy at all or anything?
Not really. I think Ryan and Sergi are still somewhat close in points. So I mean, obviously, if anything happened to me, like something happened to Ryan this week, that could put me behind. So I just got to be on my toes, kind of still be conservative, but also have that aggressiveness to go out there and win races.
Well, Ryan, we know every single week, whether it's late models, modified, or even a bomber, um, it don't matter what we put you in. We know that you're going to be a guy up near the front as long as you don't get taken out. So, again, congratulations. Great race, great performance. Who would you like to thank for all of your efforts here tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank all my sponsors, Carbon Racing Solutions, my dad at SM Auto Service, Pendleton Forest Products, Denise Matthews Real Estate, James River Nurseries. I got to give a big shout out to Edgewater Screens for sponsoring this league, being the main sponsor. And I appreciate the gift cards you sent me the other week. Just all the support through this iRacing league. I really appreciate it. And then I got to thank you all for putting this on and doing good at making these races fun to run.
Well, hey, man, we appreciate you as well. Thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that is Ryan Matthews, your race winner here once again, the king of the Superlates at New Smyrna Speedway.
Another fantastic drive for Ryan Matthews, getting it done for the fourth time this season. We've now had the opportunity to catch up with our third place finisher, Eric Purcell. Eric, my goodness, my friend, what a race for you. Things did not go very well early on. Unfortunately, had an issue all by yourself, made a very harsh meeting with the outside wall that put you upside down, but you were not denied success. You kept the fight going, brought yourself all the way back to a third place finish. Walk us through your wild night from your perspective.
Yeah, the start there, I was just kind of riding. I knew I was better than those guys in front of me, but kind of stepped on my PP there a little bit. Luckily, these guys screwed up and gave us some fast toes, so made our way back up through there. And if it was a little bit longer, I think I'd had something for Ryan, but, you know, what are you going to do?
Well, you definitely showed the speed throughout the night. Qualified, fastest qualifier. Started 7th on the invert. What were some of the challenges that you had to work through coming back through the field? Obviously, I'm sure you may not have been absolutely furious at yourself, but I'm sure flipping yourself over early on in the race didn't make things all that calming trying to get back through.
Yeah, when you're upside down, it's not a good thing. But, yeah, going back there, I knew we had to pit anyway to get some fuel. So it kind of wasn't that bad. But when you get put back there, there's a bunch of squirrels back there that go high, go low. They're all over the place. So you're just going to kind of play dodgeball a little bit. But, you know, we got.
So we're just actually, I was just about to mention the points battle, and we actually have the updated standings that we can tell you. So after your third place tonight, you have now moved into fourth place, 2 points ahead of Blake Clouser in fifth. You are 44 points out of the championship lead. So we've got 3 races left to go. That's a bit of a mountain to climb, but what can we do moving forward here with these 3 races left to try to make something happen here and make a late surge fight for this championship?
I mean, the only thing I got is to somehow remove the golden horseshoe up, you know, Matthews' ass, because he's got all the luck in the world. It seems like he's pulling these things off pretty easy. But I know I got, you know, as much speed as him, if not, you know, sometimes better than to beat him, but just hasn't fallen that way.
Well, Eric, you haven't pulled off a victory yet, but a fantastic run tonight. You were super fun to watch all night long. Congratulations on the third place finish. Who would you like?
I got to thank Speedy for painting my car up. And then in real life, Johnny at RRD builds a hell of a car. Anybody that needs anything, go see him and he'll get you fast.
That is Eric Purcell, driver of the number 88 car tonight, after flipping over in the early stages of the race, fought his way back to a third place finish. One of the most impressive drives that we have seen all season long. Kind of scrolling through here, I don't believe that we have connection to Anthony Sergi just yet. So I know we have no, we do. We actually do have Anthony Sergi here. So I'll send things back on over to Ryan and get Anthony's thoughts on tonight's race.
Anthony, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Another pretty good night for you. Once again, up there in the midst of the battle. I'm sure you would have liked to have been leading like you were last week, but still all in all, a good run for you.
Yeah, it was a great run. We had kind of a hitch in the road with the fuel and had to pit to get fuel. Didn't really know about that, and then just had to drive up to the front. I think I saved a little too much there at the end. And with those cautions there at the end, it was just hard to get Ryan on the restarts. He had good restarts every single time, and it was just hard to get him and get around him with those couple laps. I actually ran my fastest lap on the last lap, so definitely think I could have gone a little harder there at the end.
Well, last week watching you and Bruce race for the win, we had to wonder if this week, if one of you two guys got up there, if maybe you would have given the bumper to Ryan Matthews. Are you getting sick of Ryan Matthews coming out here and being the dominant guy in late models?
No, not really. I mean, it's fun. We're all just here to have fun. I mean, I like getting in the Discord with everybody and just having fun, talking, messing around, and everything like that. And I think Bruce there, his internet connection fell out, so I think he definitely had a chance to win it there, but his internet connection fell out, so feel bad for him. But other than that, I mean, we're just having fun, putting on a show for New Smyrna. Looks like it's going to rain this weekend, so it doesn't look like we're getting more real racing.
We don't talk about that on Wednesday.
Sorry.
Come on, man.
But yeah, so just wanted to put on a race for the fans and hope that everyone's having fun.
Hey, well, we appreciate it, man. You're still sitting third in points. Looks like things have updated here. You're 31 points out. That might seem like a lot, but Matthews and Borgs have a bad night. You get another win or two because you're the only other guy that can win in this series. You'll still be right up in there. So keep at it and keep putting on a good show. We appreciate you taking your time. We know you could be out there working on the real race car. There's some other great races going on in Florida that you could be that I'm sure you'll be a part of. And we appreciate you taking your time, putting on a show for us. And it's been fun to watch you. Real quick, do you have anybody that you would like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank MJS Concrete, TSNC Construction for all the help they do on the real car. Dennis Dean for working on the car. My mom, my dad, and my sister. She just got her certification for nursing, so congratulations to her. And just shout out to my grandma. She loves watching these at her house on her iPad, and hope she's having fun. And hope everyone else is having fun watching these races.
Well, we're having fun. And Anthony, one more question for you. Do you have any plans to race this weekend?
Like I said earlier, the R word, and I don't think anyone's gonna be racing. But if we do racing, I'm either going to be at Citrus watching the modified race, the 100 lapper, or I'll be at New Smyrna racing, watching the is it Sportsman's and modifieds there as well.
All right, so you'll be a spectator one way or another. So, all right, Anthony. Hey, we appreciate you, man, and hopefully somebody gets some racing in. I know if one track goes racing, I'm going to try to be there one way or another.
Definitely, so and then. Another thing was I won 4 free tickets for the grandstand. I think it was 4. It was either 2 or 4 tickets to the grandstands at New Smyrna from Edgewater Screens for winning the race last week. So watch out on my Facebook. I'm gonna try and put something out and see who I can some lucky fans I can give these 4 2 tickets to. I forget how much.
Awesome. And hey, if we rain out for whatever reason this weekend, save those tickets for next week. We'll make sure they're good.
Exactly. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Anthony. Well, I was hoping that maybe we'd hear he was going to go racing. I know there's a big super late model race going on this weekend, but nonetheless, Sergi will be at a racetrack somewhere. You can't keep the man away from a racetrack.
Well, it's good to hear that even when he has an opportunity to take a weekend off from the driver's seat. He still wants to put himself in the environment and get out to the racetrack and support by being a fan. So that's super cool to hear about. Before we wrap things up, I see that he's hanging out with us in here, as long as he's actually still behind the microphone. I want to get our head administrator's thoughts on tonight's race. Wes is in here. Wes has been the admin control guy for these last few weeks, and figured we'd give his thoughts on things for tonight's event and really the championship race moving forward now that we're coming into our final rotation for the car swap. Wes, you still around?
I want to first say thank you to all the competitors that have shown up so far for the last 6 weeks, including our kickoff World Series and late models that we had. You guys got me? You guys got me?
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So, yeah, I just want to give a shout out to all these guys showing up each and every week. I know it hasn't been consistent and has been easy. It has been fun, but it's been frustrating for a lot of the competitors. So I got to give a shout out to them. They put on a hell of a show again here tonight. Ryan Matthews doing what he does. Sergi again with a hell of a show. Eric Purcell with a recovery for the ages, ending up on his roof and getting a top 3. So it's always fun to call. It can be a little bit stressful. I shout out to Jarrett Bolliard. He takes his time out to call these with us as well. Helps us on Monday and Monday nights, and of course you guys in the booth. You do one hell of a job. Ryan showing up on Monday and Wednesday nights, and it's a group effort as tracks start to open their gates back up. VidaneTV will still be here, but without these drivers that have been itching to race, we wouldn't be calling the action that we're calling here today, as well as Monday and any other day this week. So I just got to give a thank you to everybody. That was a fun race to call, fun race to watch. And I can't wait till next week in the street stock. Street stock so far have put on the best show. So I'm sure their last chance in that car for this season, it shouldn't be any different.
Hey, Wes, these guys have really come a long way, haven't they?
Yeah, they went from going a half a lap of wrecking every half lap to the point where we try to figure out how to get 100 laps in within an hour without counting caution laps, to now, and putting anywhere from 20 to 50 laps up straight. Hell, on Monday nights, they went 69 laps without a caution. So
hey, at this point, Wes, they've got the wrecks to where they're entertaining and not annoying anymore. So kudos to the drivers, and it's going to be fun. The next couple weeks will be fun to see if Ryan Matthews takes home the championship or if anybody steps up to the plate here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. My money will be on Ryan Matthews.
Well, yeah, he's the favorite, of course. I mean, take the easy way out, why don't you?
Yeah, he is the guy that's getting it done. But you can't count him out. Anything can happen. We saw that last week where the door was opened up for Borgs. So anything can happen.
Absolutely. And Wes, good job keeping those guys under wraps tonight, and hopefully next week we'll be back in the booth together. It's been almost 3 weeks now, so maybe we'll get me, you, and Kyle in the booth. Who knows?
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up doing that for at least one race next 3 weeks coming up. I would definitely like to be in the booth for the finale. As well as help. I know Kyle would as well. I don't think Jarrett's much for talking, so I'm sure we'll work something out. But man, it's been a lot of fun. I can definitely see why track managers and directors get gray hairs quicker than others.
Oh yeah, the gray hair thing that is a real thing, man. Before I started working at a racetrack, I didn't have a gray hair, and now I have all the gray hair. No, I'm just kidding. I've had gray hair since I was 21. So, but hey, that's part of racing. What a show tonight, Kyle. Great job, Paul. Thank you for what you do, getting all the replays for everybody, and thank you to all our viewers watching on VidaneTV, either on Facebook, YouTube, or by any means necessary. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. This was probably one of the best races in the series overall.
I totally agree. Great job in the booth, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I'll let Paul, Kyle, whoever the hell is going to sign this off tonight, go ahead and do so.
Yeah, we'll take just a quick look here at the VidaneTV schedule. Looking tomorrow night's Thursday night, obviously, so we're going to be hooking up with the New England, Pennsylvania Shift IROC Series. Those guys put on a fantastic show last week. They're going to be racing, I believe, Texas this week. in the super late models that are basically painted up like the old iRock paint schemes. Big time fun, a lot of action there because they're all fixed setups and they're a little bit underpowered for some of the bigger tracks. So it's good to see what these guys are able to do on track. Then we got a doubleheader coming up for Tim's Corner Motorsports, Friday night and Saturday night. Going to be running the super late models, the Tranquility super late models. Saturday is actually going to be a Children's Hospital charity show. So if you got nothing else going on, even if you do have something else going on, why don't you tune in and come watch some racing here. See if we can't raise a little bit of money for charity on Saturday night. Excuse me. Sunday night, we go back to the East Coast Winter League. The SK Modifieds at Stafford Motor Speedway. Those guys race at 9 o'clock. And then rinse, lather, repeat. Monday night, Florida Pro Trucks. Another Tim's Corner Motorsports special event next Tuesday. And then right back here for New Smyrna, the World E-Series of Racing. So lots of action coming up. Kyle mentioned it earlier. 30 days in June. And we had 21 shows, 21 days with shows. Add one more to the list because the East Coast Winter League and the New England, Pennsylvania iRacing group have kind of paired together to make a throwback night. They're going to be running the 87 cars, the 1987 Cup cars that just came out here on iRacing, and that's going to be on the 20th, so no more details for that to come. And speaking of the East Coast Winter League and the New England, Pennsylvania iRacing League, I did speak to the league administrators there about what we discussed a little bit Monday night here on the broadcast. I talked to Kyle Casagrande, Cora Casagrande, and Dylan Kopech over at East Coast, and made mention, we were thinking about doing a North versus South race, a Stafford Speedway versus New Smyrna race, and they said they were absolutely 110% all in. So definitely be on the lookout. We're going to be kind of putting some things together, maybe make that happen here in the month of June while everybody's still kind of taking this long, extended, kind of a staycation from the racetrack, I guess, as much as I hate to use the word, but that's what's going on. We got Vidane.net for all the details and a further schedule, and if you want to book a race, definitely feel free to give us a shout on Facebook and do all the social media stuff. Like, subscribe, share, and tell your friends you just watched some live racing here on VidaneTV. But we're going to pack everything up. We're heading out of here. I'm going to go catch the Last Lap Saloon there, see if they got any extra whiskey that they're trying to get rid of, and we will catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for coming out tonight. Be safe, be well, and stay educated.